Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is Saturday morning, so you know it's time for another live edition of the Extra Point. We got T Sizzle in the house representing the Dominican Republic. How goes it today, T Sizzle?
Ooh, it goes great. It's getting warm down here. Those nice, cool nights that I could just leave the windows open and let the breeze blow through. Slowly being replaced by I'm cutting on this fan, and this fan. Soon to be
and,
followed by this here air conditioner that's behind me.
and ladies and gentlemen, peep that pretty white wall. It looks crystal white. I love it. I love it. I love it. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you all know what today is. Today is the start of the NBA playoffs, and we're going to give you a comprehensive breakdown of all of the matchups, including who T Sizzle says you should be watching throughout the entirety of the playoffs, because one of these five players will probably impact who wins the championship. But before we get into any of that, we have to give a shout out to our sponsors.
We are sponsored by May Jane's Coffee. That's MAEJANES coffee.com. Not got.com, but .com. Again, people, we're going through a little transition, so just bear with us, pray with us that she's able to continue with this, because this is both of her great grandmother's names combined. So please just keep us in your prayer that, she can get things up and running again. But again, she is keeping content on her Instagram, and the website is still up and operating.
Right on. And we also want to give a shout out to our other coast, our brother from another mother, Mr. Michigan Mike Michael Hasso and Wolverine Comics TX. You can make sure you follow that on Instagram and get all of your comic book needs there. Shouts out to Michigan Mike. Make that money. Hello, RJ. Sending a shout out to Miss Stephanie Denise Coulter checking in. Good morning to you, Ma. Now, I'm glad you're here, Steph, because I want you to help me out with something. I want to throw to Tasha before we get into this NBA stuff. Now, I saw something trending on Twitter the other day that I found hilarious, and I wanted to get a woman's perspective on it. There's an international football player. They call it soccer over there. His name is Akraf Hakimi. Now, him and his beautiful now ex-wife, stop laughing, Tasha, let me get this out. Him and his beautiful ex-wife are no more. She decided to file for divorce, and she went for half of his multi-million-dollar estate. Only to find out when she got to court that all his things was in his mama name. But that's all right, because I still shine. Got to court, she found out, oops, the house, the cars, the clothes, the cat, the dog, the scarf, the muffler, everything is in his mama's name, and she couldn't get her hands on any of it. Apparently, the mom and the son had conspired to put everything in the mama's name, so she was entitled basically to nothing unless she want to marry the mama and then divorce the mama. Tasha, is this a shrewd move or is this dirty pool on the part of Mr. Hakimi?
First of all, that man said, ta-da!
Right, he was like, aha, aha. She looking for the spoon. Well, where's the spoon?
Somebody said, if I got you, bitch, was a person.
Right, I only love my dad and my mama. I'm sorry. Good morning, Martrice. Please, Martrice Hastings, my baby cakes, please join this conversation. Again, Mr. Akraf Hakimi, he basically pulled a fast one over on his wife, who tried to divorce him and found out his multi-million-dollar estate was in Mama Nim name. So, Tasha, is this dirty pool or is this a shrewd move?
You know what? It's a shrewd move, and I don't fault him for that, because again, a lot of times you marry these men because they have money, it's under false pretense. And how many times have we said, she only with that man because he got money?
Right, and they're very young, so it's not like they put a decade in.
Exactly. So for her to even be asking for half is just absurd. But I think it's a smart move, and I think a lot of people need to do this. Smart. Yep. I mean, I think it's a smart move on his part, because why should you get all of my money like Tiger Woods?
Right. Right.
I mean, he made
or Camille or Juanita Jordan with her $300 million.
I mean, Juanita deserved that. She gave that man.
Right. That's a separate case. He was cutting up in the streets.
Yeah, that's separate. Tiger stuff was out in public and it was muddy. Like I said, he made a nanny a multi-millionaire, almost billionaire.
A Waffle House lady too. You know, she got her teeth fixed and everything. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So, and then like now you got the girl, the ex-girlfriend trying to sue him for $30 million. See, a lot of people need to be, especially these athletes, you got to protect your assets.
Now,
right? Like
Martrice says, I mean, protect the bag. This is coming from someone whose son can one day be walking across that stage to hug the commissioner. Miles, my dear buddy, my godson Miles, put it all in Martrice's name. That girl will have a fight on her hands to get his money.
And that's why I always say, these girls stupid. They want to sue and try to get alimony and all this. The best, easiest thing for you to do is have you a couple of kids, because you're going to at least get child support for 18 years.
No, he had that rubber on extra tight. It reminds me of something the late, great Robin Harris said. He said that one night he was laying with a woman, and afterwards she rolled over and said, so what we going to name the baby? He said, I took that condom off, tied it in a knot, threw it in the commode and flushed it and said, baby, if you get loose from here, we're going to name him Hercules.
Hercules.
So I want to give an early shout out. We couldn't even wait to the end of the show because I didn't want to forget this. I'm going to give a shout out to Akraf Hakeem for pulling a fast one on that lady. And if you looked at the messages, like the comments on the message board on the Instagram, those women were hot. They were hot for her. They called him a mama's boy. They called him everything but a child of God.
Don't get mad because she didn't secure the bag. Don't get mad. He did what he was supposed to do.
To all of my ladies out there that have children, you all are batting 1,000 when it comes to, I don't know if that one is the right one. You all are batting 1,000. The mamas be knowing. They can size up a chick in 3 seconds and be like, no, that ain't the one. We got a trick for her. So shouts out to that. Hey y'all, shouts out to our sponsor. Stephanie checks in, seriously. If it was the other way around, we, as in the people, especially women, would be like, yes, sis, you stay smart and protect yourself.
Yes.
That is very, very true. But what they can't call them is trees. Mic drop. Mic drop. So let's get on to some NBA playoffs, y'all. Y'all know I'm fired up. I got on my Memphis Grizzlies playoff t-shirt. I got my growl towel ready. But we're going to start with Saturday's games, T-Sizzle. So let's get to it. We're going to start here in just a couple of hours where the Brooklyn Nets will take on the 3-seed Philadelphia 76ers. Now, Brooklyn is the 6th seed. Also, Philadelphia swept the season series with Brooklyn 4-0. Now, with a caveat, 2 of those games didn't involve Kyrie or KD, who, of course, were traded mid-season. Tasha, do you see more of the same of this in the playoffs? You see a sweep coming on by Embiid and company?
It may not see a sweep, but the Sixers are definitely going to win. First of all, how the hell is Brooklyn a number 6 seed?
Because KD and Kyrie had ran off like 18 out of 20 before they blew it all up. So they didn't have far to drop once they left, pretty much.
Oh, okay. See, this is what we need Mike here for, to pull up them stats real fast.
Right.
What their record is.
So give me a game. So we're going 4, we're going 5, we're going 6. How does Brooklyn stand a chance to get any, in your opinion?
I think Brooklyn will get 1. Because it's always that one to be like, oh man, we had a.
And it's usually the first one when they come out of the gate and snatch still the first one and then get smoked.
But I'm gonna hold some of this back off this comment, but I see the Joel Embiid led Sixers easing through this. All
right. I'm agreeing with you. I got the Sixers in 5 as well. I think Brooklyn may steal 1, just for Biggie. Come on, Brooklyn, stand up. Get 1 for Biggie, baby. Now, we also have the 7-seed Atlanta Hawks, who proceeded through Tasha's favorite thing, the play-in. They're 3-0 in the play-in, the play-in Hall of Fame. Their reward, the 2nd-seed Boston Celtics, who've looked like a juggernaut this year. They're just the 3rd team in NBA history to lead the league, to be top 2 in the league in offense and defensive efficiency. The last 2 teams to accomplish that were the 2015 Golden State Warriors and the 2018 Golden State Warriors, both champions. Is this a good sign for Boston? Does Atlanta stand a chance?
Again, I didn't even think Atlanta was going to be in there.
They shouldn't have been. They were down 20 points.
Right. So of course I'm going for Boston, because I just really think, right now I think the Hawks are just playing for dignity.
Right.
because like I said last show, their star, they don't want him there, and he don't want to be there.
Right. And that's true. And when she says they, she means the teammates. That's one thing when the fans don't want you there. It's another thing when the locker room is ready for you to roll.
I mean, to me, he's just not Atlanta. He's not Atlanta. He doesn't fit in the scene, the city, anything. And at first, when he was, up in New York,
right, the whole I'm ice cold Trey and all of that. Yeah.
But I mean he's melted.
And he got his brother coach fired in Nate McMillan, who was being very successful while he was the head coach there. But he ran him out of town. And in a black city like Atlanta, you playing with fire when you go black on black crime. Let's just keep that there. You know how Atlanta get down. Like, they're like, hold up, bro.
Let's keep parquet on black crime.
Right. Now here's one that intrigues me, Tasha, in the Eastern Conference. This one will be at 5:00 today. You got the 5th seed New York Knicks back in the mix. It's almost like a rite of passage. We grew up with the Knicks being playoff contenders, so it's kind of good to see them back in the mix. They faced the 4 seed Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, just to give you some nerd notes, the Knicks won the season series 3-1, but their best player in Julius Randle is hampered with an ankle injury. Tasha, how do you see this one playing out?
First of all, I don't trust the Knicks.
You don't trust the Knicks?
I don't trust them. Everything in me, and people don't know this, because I was such a big Patrick Ewing fan, I actually always rooted for the Knicks. Even though the Pistons were my team, I always wanted Patrick Ewing to succeed with the Knicks.
Me too.
But I don't trust them. And the way Cleveland just came out of nowhere, Cleveland has played, oh my God, just phenomenally this season.
Yes, they have.
I don't even really think any of us were really watching Cleveland.
No, they did it very quietly. They did.
And New York, only reason why we're talking about New York, because it is New York. It's the Mecca. It's Madison Square Garden. It's MSG. So
yeah, we know my brother will be. He will be glued to his couch with the cold one in hand. Go ahead.
Right. So I don't know, man. This is a tough one, man.
This is going to be close.
Everything in me wants the Knicks to prevail. We kind of need the Knicks to prevail.
Right.
And so that's kind of a homer pick for me. I'm going to go with the Knicks.
In how many?
6.
Okay, you got the Knicks in 6. Now, one interesting thing about the Knicks and the Cavaliers is their 2 point guards. And I want to kind of set the stage on what we're going to see over the next 2 weeks with this series, hopefully, if it goes that far. Now, New York was after the Cavs star guard Donovan Mitchell for 2 whole seasons before he was traded to the Cavaliers last trade deadline. Now, according to Stephen A. Smith, the Knicks botched that trade by trying to call Danny Ainge's bluff, and we know Danny Ainge don't play. He's one of the best executives in the NBA. So while they were playing around, he went ahead and slid Mitchell on to Cleveland, and like Tasha said, Cleveland has taken off. He was the first. He's going to be first team All NBA. He was an All-Star, and Cleveland just kind of blew up from that. But as a consolation prize, they did sign Jalen Brunson in the offseason from the Dallas Mavericks. And Jalen Brunson in New York has been a revelation, basically being an all-star himself. Tasha, if you had to put money on who has the better series, will it be Brunson or will it be Mitchell?
I'm going to go with Spidey Mitchell on that one because, I mean, I think he just has – we always knew the boy could ball. We knew he could dunk. We knew he could do all this. And I think now this is his time.
Right.
And it kind of makes me think of what's his name in Portland? Damn, it's on the tip of my tongue.
Oh, Damian Lillard. Lillard.
Like we always known Damian Lillard could ball, but he's always been hidden.
Right.
He's out there in the West, ain't nobody watching.
Right.
Well, the people who needed to see, we saw his skill set. We knew what he could do. I think that's a waste of talent out there in Portland. So I think with Donovan Mitchell moving to Cleveland, Cleveland is in the East.
Right.
And anytime you say, okay, what are they doing without LeBron? That's going to make people look.
Great point. Nobody's talking about LeBron in Cleveland anymore. They have a new superstar.
So I think Mitchell is going to – I think he's going to have the better postseason.
Hey, y'all better Google playoff Donovan Mitchell. What he did in the bubble against Denver, what he did the last 2 seasons, it was not his fault that his teammate was Rudy COVID Gobert. That's, I mean,
Rudy punch a B in the chest, go bear.
right. Rudy, who got down for his last night, had 21 points in his return and got Minnesota into the playoffs. We'll talk about them in just a second. Now, here's one that really intrigues me. I'm going to make sure I get my old man nap in so I can watch this whole game. It's going to be the Golden State Warriors, the 6th seed, versus the 3 seed Sacramento Kings. Now, let me give you some nerd notes on this one. Now, Golden State this year, and I can't even believe that this is a real stat, so I had to triple check it. They have the worst road record of any team in the playoffs with 11-30. Like, they only won 11 road games the entire year. That's with Steph, that's without Steph, that's with good Clay, bad Clay, that's with Draymond, getting text or not getting text. Only 11 road games. But in the playoffs, they've won a road game in 27 straight playoff series, which is a league record. Let me ask you this, Tasha. Who do you trust more against Sacramento? The regular season road Warriors or the postseason road Warriors that's going to snatch one in your house for 27 straight series?
I'm going to go for the playoff version because that's when it really matters, correct? That's a championship team. It's in them.
Right.
You're not going to stop that flow.
Right.
But what I do have to say, I've been listening to a lot of people talk about Sacramento. Of course, I ain't thought about Sacramento since Chris Webber was there when they got robbed against the Lakers. And then because everybody, I love
They did get robbed, damn it. Chris Webber just couldn't catch a championship break.
I love Vince Carter, and Vince Carter was out there at one point.
Yeah.
So that's the last time anybody ever paid attention to Sacramento. But this is my thing. Everyone is wanting the Warriors to win because they want the Warriors-Grizzlies matchup or the Warriors-Laker matchup.
They do.
What happened to the parity? We all sit up here and complain about we get tired of seeing the same teams win. Somebody else, and now y'all got Sacramento and don't nobody want them to win. I'm going for Sacramento just for that point.
I'm going for Sacramento because I hate Golden State from last year and beyond. Now, what they did to LeBron James and John Morant, I'm done with Golden State. They got to eat one. Now, Mr. Glenn checks in. What's up, Mr. Glenn? He says Warriors having only 11 road wins in the playoffs shows how weak the West was this year. Was the West weak to you as well, Tasha?
The West was down. And, I don't really get a lot of West Coast ball on account I'm on Eastern time now.
Right, and it hurts us right here on Central time.
Right, and even before the daylight savings time, I was an hour ahead of Eastern time. So I'd be damned if I'm going to stay up at 11 o'clock to watch some Western Conference basketball. The West was down this year. And it's strange because usually it's the East. The West has been the top, the top notch for the last 10 years or so?
At least.
And now the East is, peeking their head out showing, hey, we still some count. But I just want everybody to stop complaining. Now, I don't know anybody on Sacramento. I know, is it De'Aaron?
Yeah, De'Aaron Fox. He's on there. He's the truth. You got Domantas Sabonis. You got Harrison Barnes, who had championship success.
Harrison Barnes still in the league?
Stop it. Stop that.
No, I'm serious. He was in Carolina. He was in Carolina.
Yeah, he's still in the league. He's still in the league. You know what? This proves to Mr. Glenn's point. John Morant missed 20-something odd games, got suspended. They're missing 2 of their bigs, who we'll get into in a little bit, but they still held on to the 2nd seed. Like, nobody could run them down. Denver lost maybe 5 of their last 10 games. Nobody could run them down. We have the Lakers in the play-in game.
Right, you got the Lakers in the play-in.
Right.
And had Zion played, New Orleans would have still been in there because they were number 1 until he went out with this hamstring, and now he's talking about he can't play. Physically, I can, but I can't.
Look, Zion, on a side note, if you can't play, get your ass off the layup line dunking and stuff. We don't want to see that.
There you go.
Get your ass off the layup line dunking and stuff. Quit trying to tease the people. Either get your ass out there and help your team win. You saw them flail in the play-in tournament because they needed a Zion who was healthy enough to dunk, but you're not healthy enough to play. I'm done with Zion. Let's just put it that way. So you're rooting against Golden State, but do you pick Golden State to win this series?
I pick them simply because of that championship fortitude. But it's always the underdog. You know, Sacramento has not been there in decades.
Yes, NFL. I mean, an NBA record, long time.
So you never know.
16 years or so.
This may be their year, so it's hard for me to root against Golden State. So I'm going to pick Golden State to actually win it, even though I want Sacramento to win.
I echo that. I'm rooting against Golden State, but Stephanie, I'm going to put this back up here because this is how it all comes down to me. The Warriors will close it out in the last minute when it matters. Their championship experience will get that done. Now, Melanie has a question for you, Tasha. Was Zion overrated coming out of college?
To be honest, he was the truth. I'm just going to put it out there. But I think what he lacks is discipline. He was not.
Oh, you mean this kind of discipline?
Yes. Yes. He lacks discipline. When you are already a massive man of that size, you have to be disciplined enough to take care of your body. Your body is what allows you to go out there and perform and make these millions. The boy can, I mean, every level that he's played on, he has, you know, he's really shown up and shown out. He's a very good and talented player.
He's averaged 27 points a game when he's on the court, but that's few and far between.
Think about the amount of discipline that he lacked. If he had discipline, he would be in the conversations for MVPs.
He would. And to your point, when he was healthy, the New Orleans Pelicans were at the top of the Western Conference.
Yes.
When everybody was still healthy, you know, so they were putting hands on people. And
so, but that's his debt. So, Melanie, to answer your question, yes, he is good, but he lacks the discipline enough to play. I mean, Charles Barkley was big when he played ball, but Barkley was still agile. Barkley was never hurt.
Right.
Barkley was never hurt. Barkley played when he was supposed to play. You look at even Sean Kemp. Sean Kemp had a bigger frame. When did Sean Kemp start failing? When he started putting on that weight, when he got man boobs.
When he started being the you know what, I'm not gonna say that.
I mean, you even look at LeBron's body type. What did LeBron do? LeBron switched up his entire regimen because LeBron was Zion. LeBron was a big dude. He changed his eating habits, the way he worked out, his conditioning. That's why he's still in the league.
Right. That is why, excuse me, he is still in the league. You don't see him with the cognac and the cigars. You don't see him.
First of all, you ain't have to do that.
I didn't say no names. Look, all I'm saying is if that person, the GOAT of his generation, would have put in the same amount of money, like they said, LeBron spends about $1 million on his body a year with Halliburton chambers, like you said, chefs, the workout regimens, like the people who follow him on the road when he's on the road in the NBA season, and he's able to last that long. So shouts out to him. Steph says NBA players with heart 20 years ago, they were more dedicated. NBA is lazy and sloppy now. Look at the All-Star game. Oh God, that All-Star game was awful. Do you think, Tasha, to Stephanie and Jarrell's point, that the guaranteed contracts are what's making them lazy? I mean, Zion's still getting his money.
Yeah, because it's like, I got my money. What I need to do this for? I mean, and I don't blame them, because how many times have we talked about how the owners stay getting rich off the backs of
because their money is super guaranteed.
Right. You know, those are billionaires. Right. You know, to the point now, you know, back in our day, it was, he's a millionaire. These owners are billionaires, and they've been getting their money, going to stay getting their money. So I don't blame the players for, hey, I got my money and I'm going to chill. But dude, this is your job. You chose this career, and giving them all that money up front, and which is going to continue unless you Lamar Jackson, giving them all this money up front is, I think, is not making, they don't want to work hard because they've already gotten what they wanted. Right.
And to MJ's point, I'm gonna show him some flowers. The fact that it wasn't all given to him is what made him the monster that he was. Like Nike didn't build him like they do the current stars. He built Nike. And nobody can take that away from him. And he did it on the court by bashing skulls in night after night after night after night.
Like everybody got a shoe now. What? Everybody don't need no shoe.
Right. And people are getting shoes before they've earned it, John Morant. We'll get into him in just a minute, but he hadn't earned that shoe yet.
I mean,
and now Nike got egg on their face.
Now I can't even say if you don't have a championship. Yeah, Ja didn't really need no shoe yet.
You had one playoff win, the series win against the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Because Barkley had a shoe, and Ken Griffith was cold. Ken Griffith, he had a shoe. He ain't win no championship, so I can't even say that.
Yeah, but he was a Hall of Famer. You know, Ja's not a Hall of Famer yet.
With a petty ass writer, the one writer that didn't vote him in, talking about nobody needs 100%, but then the next year y'all put Mariano Rivera in there at 100%.
Y'all act like she don't know her baseball. Y'all better get with this. That she is the extra point first lady. How many times I gotta tell y'all this? All right, now let's go to Sunday's game. Yeah, college students making bread now. We got some jaw slander coming up. Does the new John Morant shoe come with the Lord? Let me put this down. We're not doing this.
They come with a place like you remember back in the day. Them rules had the zip on the side. They're gonna have a zipper you can put your bullets in there.
Right, Morning AP culture. Yeah, it is like the participation trophy mentality. The Goon Squad checking in today. Good to see that. Now let's go to Sunday's games. We have the Miami Heat, number 8 seed, secured their playoff spot last night, beating the Chicago Bulls. They take on the first place Milwaukee Bucks. Now, Tasha, this is an interesting series because not only did they split the regular season, 2 games apiece, the last 2 years, they eliminated each other. 2 years ago, Miami put Milwaukee out. Last year, Milwaukee put Miami out. Who wins the rubber match this year?
Well, before we get into that, I want to send whoever the person was that made those threats to DeMar DeRozan's daughter,
right.
You go straight to hell.
Right.
That is
don't pass gold, don't collect no ice, no water, no nothing.
That is a 9-year-old child who begged her father if she could miss school on Friday just so she could see him play in Toronto. And then you got people up there in Toronto, somebody sending the child threats to the fact that she had to be removed by security and placed on the bus by her father because the child was screaming when people were shooting free throws. Go to hell.
No. You know what? Even better, because we know the profile of the people who send those type of threats. Why don't you just go ahead and reveal yourself, go into a conference room with her daddy? Threaten him. And watch his braids come out real quick. You'd be a big old afro whooping your ass.
Looking like Ben Wallace out there.
Right, he walk in there, shut the door, and say, "No, what was that you said, bro? What was that?"
like in the Dark Knight when the Joker was in there, when the light came on, back, standing in there.
Right. Right, on some first 48 interrogation stuff. All right, yeah.
I really wanted Jimmy Buckets to go down in Miami. I wanted him to. I mean, he did. He put a little bit more like this. I'm gonna use this scenario, and women with natural hair can understand this. Like sometimes when your curls get a little old, you get a little bottle, and you just spray it to freshen it up. That's Jimmy Butler actually did. He did go down there and freshen up the Heat.
He did. He kept them respectable after the big 3 left.
I just don't think it's enough. Giannis, who is arguably could be the MVP.
Could be. We'll discuss that here in just a minute.
I'm not gonna pick Miami over Giannis.
Me neither. Giannis is about to jump off the top rope with elbow landing right on Jimmy Butler's head. After the way things went down last year, and he saw Boston basically just kind of slide past him into the top slot, and everybody picked them to be the best team again this year. Oh, I think he's got some smoke. Tasha's words. Yeah, that's what we're talking about, Goon Squad. Yeah. Now, Tasha, will this be a sweep? Will Jimmy be able to get any games off of the Bucks?
Giannis gonna take Jimmy and throw him in the river like The Rock did Stone Cold.
Remember that? And then he threw his belt in there. I can't believe you remember that.
The Rock was popping much, man. He told that man he'll throw his belt in the river. Stone Cold gonna pull up on this man. The Rock threw that man in the river.
Hold up.
Fully
How did you?
clothed.
He had on a hoodie. He could have drowned in that water. He had on the hoodie. Stephanie's calling for the sweep. We got you on record, Steph. She
My
broke out the
pride.
brooms. Durant says Jimmy gets one. I'm gonna give Jimmy one down on South Beach.
I can go with that too. I can give him one.
I agree. Y'all. I was thinking sweep like Stephanie, but look, we're gonna give you your flowers, Steph, if this is a sweep, because I don't think it's gonna be competitive. Giannis been chomping at the bit to get back in the playoffs ever since last year because they blew it. They should have won that. They shouldn't have lost to Boston. All right. Now here's an interesting one. And since we in the booth, Tasha got to tell the truth, y'all. Here we go. The 5th seed Los Angeles Clippers take on the 4th seed Phoenix Suns. It's the battle that we missed 5 years ago with Kawhi versus KD. Because when Kawhi went through the Golden State Warriors, some people say the only reason why he won that championship in Toronto is because KD tore his Achilles. Now they get to go head-to-head and both are healthy. Tasha, who you liking?
And also remember when Kawhi went out against the Warriors when he had his injury too.
That's right. And they was up 1-0 and they was ready to go up 2-0. And Jaja Pachulia threw his foot up under him and tore his ankle up. Right. Good call by you, Tasha. Good.
Y'all, this is hard for me because y'all know I loves me some KD and I loves me some Kawhi.
I thought about that immediately when this matchup came out. I said, oh, this is the Tasha Bowl. Let's see who she picks on Saturday.
Man, let me tell you something. I ain't trusted them Clippers.
You don't trust the Clippers?
I don't know.
Wait a minute, is it a Knicks level of distrust?
No. Is what's his name? Is he playing? What's his
Paul
name?
George.
Paul George, PG3.
Paul George is out right now. They said they're not going to rush him back, so he's still under evaluation.
See, without Paul George, I don't think it would be competitive enough. Not saying that, yeah, I'm going with that too. Not saying that they cannot be competitive because they are, because you still have Kawhi. Kawhi is looking good. Mm-hmm. Kawhi came back healthy. He's stronger. Mm-hmm. But y'all know my heart is going to always be with KD.
Well, your money should be with KD as well because the Phoenix Suns haven't lost a game since he's been out there.
I mean, it ain't like it's been 60 games. But
no, that's true. That's true. That we can play word semantics with that. It's really 8-0. But when you go back to his days in Brooklyn, KD has won 25 out of his last 27 games. That's why Brooklyn was sitting in such a good position to not fall out of the play-in. So, damn, KD, 25 out of your last 27. I can't bet against that. Now, let's take this from two different angles. Whose legacy takes the biggest hit from a win if they're able to move on and win the championship? KD or Kawhi? They're both champions.
Everything is always going to be on KD because Kawhi has always been a quiet superstar. He did that,
right.
He got that
right,
silly
laugh. With that Uzu laugh.
Right. I don't think Kawhi cares. So it doesn't. I mean, he doesn't. He's shown us he doesn't care what anybody says about him.
Nobody.
He has no social media.
No.
I don't think his wife has social media. You don't see anything.
She's a mannequin.
Right. The only thing you hear from his camp is from his uncle, who everybody was, piling on at one point. But you come to find out his uncle is a top-notch account executive. So that makes sense.
And Kawhi's pocket says he knows what he's doing.
Right. So that makes sense that he let his uncle be his front man and talk when it comes to money and everything else.
Right.
So it's always going to come on KD because people who love LeBron hate KD. You got all the hate that came from him from the OKC when he left. He wanted to join the super team. You got so many other people who hate KD.
Can I explain that? Will you give me 30 seconds to explain the KD hate? It's the exact same thing as the MJ fans to LeBron. KD is a threat to LeBron's legacy, and we don't like him for that. Go on about your business, KD. Go on about your business.
Oh, he's going to go on about it. He's going to go on about it this
Right, but he's a threat. He can shoot it. He's a 55, 90, 80. The man you can't foul him because he makes his free throws. You can't stop him from going to the paint because he's 6'11" with a 7'6" wingspan. He can hit the three over you. He can hit the mid-range shot. He plays defense. He has no real weaknesses. And as a LeBron fan, you want him to go on up the road now.
What
like Mike said, get on up the road now. Get on up the road now. I think it's the same thing. Like with Jordan fans, they look at LeBron like, okay, well, he's coming. He may not ever get there in their mind, but he's coming to enough to where it's annoying. Like, quit trying to say you better than the GOAT. That's the way LeBron fans look at KD. We know he's coming. If KD played 20 years, his numbers will be very comparable. I'm giving you your flowers, KD, because he's unstoppable.
Thank you. I mean, and that's the truth. Like you get, and again, you know, KD got his burners, and they say, "Oh, he's sensitive and all this and all that."
Oh, but KD will roast you face to face too.
Right? He will, and that's the thing. I feel like KD is like how did I told you and Mike this a few months ago. KD just want to play ball.
Yeah.
At this point, he's won things. He's not caring about he's really not caring about what anybody's saying.
But he ain't gonna let you talk slick to him, though.
Right? He ain't gonna let you talk slick, and he just want to play ball. Like you know, Barkley keeps saying stuff, you know, about KD.
Barkley hating on him so tough.
I mean, you know, like KD don't back down from Barkley. He say what he need to say, even like
and
when
I won't back down. Said I won't back down. Get off, KD. I love KD swag. I ain't gonna lie.
And it's like, you know, even with the whole Rudy Gobert and calling the bitch and all of that. Like everyone was saying how Draymond Green, when he had called KD a bitch, KD, it wasn't the fact that KD wasn't gonna back down for him, wasn't gonna say nothing. When you are Kevin Durant, you got people that's gonna do that for you. And that organization told Draymond in that moment who was more important, and it wasn't you.
It wasn't. And the thing is, Draymond hadn't recovered from that yet. That's why he's out punching Jordan Poole, because everybody's a threat to him now, because that insecurity is loud. We've heard that floating across the Twitter sphere, but that insecurity is very loud. So you're going Suns in 6.
Yes.
I'm going Suns in 6 as well. I would love for that to go 7, because Kawhi got a trick up his sleeve. And don't underestimate Coach Ty Lue, because Ty Lue makes water out of wine. Well,
and you know why you can't underestimate Ty Lue? Ty Lue ain't married. He ain't got no kids. Well, we say that man ain't got nothing to lose. He just out here balling for his family.
Right. He got time for your shenanigans.
And plus, Kawhi hands is this big. This my hand, this Kawhi hand. They call that.
He should have stayed with the Raptors with those pterodactyl claws that he got. All right. Now, this one I'm going to call the NBA Network series. The Minnesota Timberwolves, the 8 seed versus the 1 seed Denver Nuggets. You're going to find this one on True TV, on Lifetime Plus. You might find it on BET Double Time. I mean, I don't know where you're going to find this game. It's not going to be on TV. God bless it. So we got Minnesota versus Denver. We'll make this quick. Who you got in this one?
I'm going for Denver because I don't trust nobody in Minnesota. I don't trust no city, no state that was 88 degrees yesterday and 39 for the high today. I don't trust Karl Anthony Towns. Look, I know you were forward.
Well, look who went on a coffee break. What's going on, Michigan Mike? He got Suns in 5. You only give Kawhi 1, Mike. All right, well, okay, go ahead, Tasha.
I don't like Karl Anthony Towns. Is just, to me, I can't say the boy is a bust because he does have true talent. He's a disappointment.
No, he's a ust. The B is coming down out of the rafters.
How do I log out of this?
No, that B. Come on, against the Lakers, you had the Lakers down. You could have been the 7th seed, but you go 6 minutes without a point, and you standing out there with the guard guarding you on a switch, and you're not demanding the ball, but you're supposed to be the franchise player. And Rudy Gobert, come on now, everybody calls him soft. I ain't saying it. They said it. They said he's soft. That team, when you saw the playoff matchup against, what, SOFT.
Capital T.
You saw Minnesota versus Memphis last year. They crumbled like 3-4 straight games. They should have beaten the Memphis Grizzlies last year, but Karl Anthony Towns, he just disappears. Nah, we got Denver in a sweep. Get them out of here on the PBS network. Now, let me get my shoulders right on this one. Because, Mike, you just in time. The first round series everybody's going to be talking about. This one is the ABC special. You don't even need cable for this series. We got the 7th seed Los Angeles Lakers taking on the 2 seed Yosemite Sam's, the Memphis Grizzlies. Shoot them up, bang, bang.
Wait a minute.
Don't do us like that, Mike. We got an hour to fill. The match ain't worth the time next. We get you, Mike. We moving on.
Minute. Why you gonna come? And did y'all ever see? We grown now. Did y'all know all the times he walked in, he shooting? Yosemite Sam was cussing. It was cartoon cussing. Yosemite Sam did not care. He walked in with his 6 shooters gone.
He was shooting stuff out his boots. We got this. All right, Tasha. Let me set the stage for the Lakers and the Grizzlies. Yes, Yosemite. He was a pistol.
Yosemite Sam.
All right. So the Lakers went 2-1 against Memphis this year. However, in all 3 of their matchups, there was either LeBron, Ja, or AD out of the game. So this is the first time we're going to see them with all of the stoppage stuff. Uncle Carl, yeah. Pistol popping Uncle Carl. Now, she done shut us down. All right, sorry. So this is the first time the nation will get to see AD and LeBron versus Ja and company, where everybody is healthy. Tasha, who do you like in this one? Mike is going Grizz in 7. No caveats, unless they can't find a big man. Well, hell, the game is tomorrow, Mike. What do you think they're going to go to Big Lots?
Big men's are us.
They're going to go to H&M?
Shoot. But it's Goldtooth is playing, ain't he?
Who the hell is Goldtooth?
Steven Adams.
No, he's out. Now, Steven Adams is out, and his backup, Brandon Clark, is out as well.
Ooh.
Who you got, Tasha?
I mean, I'm gonna go with the like I said, we can't even call them to whoop that trick all sauce because this team ain't the type, but our Steven Adams is gonna take you somewhere and drag you.
Right. He was their enforcer.
I'm gonna go with the Yosemite Sam's.
What? Okay, and how many games?
I'm gonna go 6 with the.
Ooh, 6. Now, see, I got Grizz in 7. You got Grizz in 6.
I'm inclined to go 7 simply because street clothes look like he want to wear his uniform now.
Right. And speaking of street clothes, let me give you some nerd stats to back you up. In the last 2 games against the Grizzlies, he had 37 rebounds because there was no Steven Adams. 37 rebounds. 30 in 2 games?
See, they need a Goldtooth there to knock somebody out.
Mike was just saying this as you were saying it. Yep. See, that's why we simpatico. Like he said, someone on the Grizzlies need to punk AD real quick, then it's over. AD, I'm not going to call him soft. I'm going to call him fragile. Now, if there was a team that wouldn't mind mixing it up with your ass in the paint, it's the Memphis Grizzlies. If they can't win it on the court, they might take it to the tunnel. So can LA handle the physicality and the youth and the athleticism of a young Grizzlies team?
AD is paper thin as my hair before Isla cut them 2 inches off. Because I hadn't had my hair cut in a year and a half, and my hair was here. Them ends, all this paper thin, look like dolls. She asked me how much.
To Trae Young.
Yes, I look like Trae Young about the ends of my hair. And she asked me how much did I want to cut off. I told her, okay, necesario. Well, whatever's necessary, cut it off. AD is paper thin.
He is
sensitive. If AD comes out and plays like the Kentucky AD when he was thirsty, when he was hungry,
right?
When he first got to
when he was trying to get out of New Orleans.
Yes, when he first got to New Orleans.
Oh yeah, before he became street clothes.
Right,
before you jinxed him with that moniker.
I can see the Lakers actually beating the Grizzlies because I think the Grizzlies have too many distractions.
Now, there are plenty of distractions. Now, Martrice, now you know we get triggered when we hear that we won't last long anyway. So let's use another epithet for that. We getting older now. That T count going down. Just be happy that we remember Valentine's Day.
Remember
we ain't
the
got it all back like
Alamo.
we used to. All right, I digress. Now, Tasha, here's what worries me about this matchup and AD. Jaren Jackson Jr. is a foul waiting to happen. He's their second best player. He's going to be Defensive Player of the Year. You cannot guard AD with Jaren Jackson Jr. He'll be fouled out in the first half because AD is just simply too talented on the offensive end. And Jaren Jackson Jr., let's just face it, he makes dumb fouls when he's out there. He'll foul you 94 feet from the basket. He'll foul you on a pick and roll where he don't set the pick right. Then he roll too fast and get an offensive foul. It's just so many mind-boggling things that he does. But when he does play, he averages 30 and 10 and 5. I think that Jaren Jackson Jr., which Jaren Jackson Jr. shows up and which Dylan Brooks shows up. Because if it's the vampire in Brooklyn looking Dylan Brooks, we in trouble. Because he single-handedly shot us out of
Not the vampire in Brooklyn.
You didn't see him last week with the calm down. That fool is crazy. We got Uncle Langston checking in. Uncle Langston, who do you got in this one? You got the Lakers or do you got the Grizzlies? Y'all check in for us. Shamika Nicole checking in. I know y'all some Laker fans. Oh, look at her with a Anita Baker shawl on. It looks all right, Shamika. And I must have been blind just to think I found someone. Oh, sorry.
Diamond shining.
JJ feels like he's on the P. He does. And Stephanie, we watch Grizzlies games when I come home for Christmas, and we look at each other like, brother, stop fouling. So Tasha, who you saying you going with the Grizzlies in 6? I'm taking the Grizzlies in 7. There we go. Shamika, don't do that. Don't laugh. Now it looks like Tasha T Sizzle is. You still with us there, T Sizzle?
Yes, I just.
Okay, all right.
No, I got a message from my boss. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. She ain't working, boss. If that's what you want to know. Now, Langston says the Grizz. I'm a Laker fan, but hate LeBron fans, not LeBron. So he's going the anti-LeBron route. We get it. Now, LeBron, does this hurt his legacy if he gets knocked out the first round?
I don't think nothing at this point is going to harm LeBron's legacy. It just may be a gut check to him.
We need to braid it up, Pimp Brooks. Memphis fans are in the house today. I'm loving this. Not Hawaiian Silky. I agree with as far as the legacy. Stephanie says no. Mike says no. So they agree with you there. Now, how can Josh's legacy take a bump if he's able to knock off the King in the first round on national television?
I just want Ja to everything that he's going through off the field is taken away from his experience. Right. I want him to enjoy his experience.
Right. And live in the moment.
Right, live in the moment.
We'll see. Now, Stephanie says he need that bump with his
You know what? With his bad ass.
All right. Who has the bigger series, ladies and gentlemen? LeBron, Ja, or AD? Who comes out of this the hero?
Oh, that's a hard one because you got the whole team on Ja's shoulders. But if they win, if the Lakers win, I think it's going to be because of AD.
I agree. Yeah, it will be because of AD because LeBron is going to be LeBron. AD will be the determining factor on whether or not they advance. I agree with Langston 1,000%. Ja will need to make a deep run to bump. Now, things are setting up for him to do that because he's on the same side of the bracket as Sacramento Golden State series. Now, if things go according to plans, how we think with Golden State and Sacramento, if Ja's able to knock off the King in the first round and Steph in the second round and make it to the Western Conference Finals, he may finally put Yosemite Gate behind him and be considered a legit superstar. Because right now he's just a meme, and it's his own fault. Shamika Nicole showing Anita Shacole. Your new name is Anita Shacole. All right, yeah, we see it.
We believe in the man story.
Sweet love.
Here they
Call out that name, Shamika. Don't feel no shame, Shamika. Now, Mr. Glenn says LeBron is almost 40. He doesn't need to prove. Yeah, I agree with that as well. Plus, Vegas is not doing him any disservices either because they have the Grizzlies as a favorite to win the series. So LeBron, that's why you don't see me throwing no crown up because hell, I'm rooting for Ja because Ja has more to losing in the first round. Talking about we good in the West than the Lakers do. The Lakers have already proved their worth by making the play-in after that horrendous start. Now he says, I'm just here to say I hate Franklin Saint. Mama, who is that?
Snowfall, man. Langston, man.
Stop it. I haven't caught up on my binge watching with that. Now Shamika says, now what I don't like is the fact that his ass is playing now that they can make a run in the playoffs, that he's been hurt for weeks. Who? LeBron? Or AD?
AD.
Talking about LeBron. Remember when you was like, where's LeBron? Why is he sitting after he broke the record? Yeah. I think more people had questions about that. Ja has to root for Ja. Looks like everybody's going to be locked into this one. It'll be tomorrow at 2 o'clock Central Time on ABC. Don't even need cable, y'all. This going down in the DM. She's saying both. Okay. So we got some legacies on the line that doesn't involve LeBron for a change. So finally we can see some new blood, like Tasha was saying. Like, pick your poison. Do you want parity or do you want some new blood? Like, which one is it? So we're rooting for the new blood. Now, Tasha, let's get your way too early finals prediction. Who makes it out of the West and who makes it out of the East? Feel free to chime in the comments.
I'm going to go. I would love to see Phoenix.
Okay, so you going with KD?
And do I want to see that? I want to see another Giannis or a Boston, a Jason Tatum matchup with the Suns.
So you going good and bad hair, the good and bad hair scene, KD versus Tatum?
How many times I got to tell you, no faux slander allowed?
No, there's no slander. I didn't say anything good or bad about either. I'm just saying it's good and bad hair going head to head for the title. You're just a jigaboo, trying to find something to do. You're just a
wanna be better than
me.
You're just a jigaboo.
Mike checking in. He says he wants that Suns versus Celtics smoke just like you do. Let's see what we got. Did I miss the Cavs versus Knicks pick? You did. Tasha doesn't trust the Knicks, but she's picking them to win, right?
Yeah.
And it may be a better series. I'm really looking forward to that. I got the Cavs in 7, only because of the Donovan Mitchell factor in that. Now, Mr. Glenn is checking in with his. He's got the Nuggets and the Sixers. Jokic versus Embiid. Okay, that could very well happen.
He's trying to get the men's championship, NCAA championship finals numbers, ain't it?
Now, this came in all caps. He got a haircut this week. So Phoenix is out. Those little beads was what kept his whole game together. You like what? when they would draw up and they start little gangs up there, like if he got a clean cut when I turn on the TV to watch this game tonight or tomorrow, y'all done. Phoenix, that's a wrap. He's like Samson in reverse. His strip was in the little naps. Okay. Now Melody said he could use a good ball, but this is them saying this, not me.
It's too, man.
So Phoenix is out since Shamika done dropped the bomb and he got a haircut. Okay, Phoenix is out. Wait a minute. Now Mike says you too much of that. Leave their hair alone. Look. I'm not bothered by their hair. All I'm saying is that that was KD's strength was the fact that he didn't care.
First of all, I'm so hurt and disappointed that everybody is going in on my fellow 4C brother. I think I'm sad.
Martrice said it's a whole storyline. No.
It too,
No, KD. Now, for those who just tuned in, I just gave KD his flowers. I said that he was an unstoppable force, and of course, I'm just joking. Me and Tasha just love to use movie references from the '80s blaxploitation films when we can. And so the good and bad hair just kind of fell in our lap. All right, so I got the Memphis Grizzlies versus the Milwaukee Bucks in the finals. You have the Phoenix Suns and the Milwaukee Bucks, correct? Oh no,
Well,
Boston. No, you got Boston. You got Boston. All right. Now the MVP finalists have been revealed, Tasha. Who do you have? We got Giannis, Jokic, Embiid. Who's your MVP?
Embiid. I don't think he's done anything to lose it like he did in the previous years. So I think it's his for the taking.
Mike got me coughing. He said an ant farm. I'm sorry. I love it. Nothing in his strips is in his natural hair.
How do you love
Watch KD win the title. We all gonna be looking stupid. Okay. All right. Now, Langston agrees with you, Embiid. I agree with you, Embiid. Mike, be nice and tell us who your MVP is so we can get this on wax. I'm going with Embiid as well. Who's under the most pressure to win this title, Tasha? Tell them we're almost done.
Most pressure. Oh,
You want me to go first?
yeah, because
It's Nikola Jokic.
no, because I don't think he's under pressure simply because no one is expecting him to do anything. And I know if you taking it back to him possibly winning the 3 MVPs.
Right, that's exactly where I'm taking it.
The MVP is a regular season award.
So Tasha, you weren't supposed to say that part.
So if he's the best player in the regular season, what he does in the playoffs really don't matter. You had Steve Nash that won 2. Should Steve Nash have won 2 back-to-back MVPs? Yeah, because he had a great regular season.
Look, there's nothing left for you to accomplish. Like, you can't keep passing kindergarten and telling me you smart. Now, you done 1, 2, might win 3 because you know how those voters go. He might win 3 in a row.
But the thing is, there's no pressure on him to win anything.
I ain't with this. All right, let's keep moving. All right, now I agree. How many times you got to be the number 1 seed to actually win? Come on, Jokic. No, but here's the thing.
I mean, he's the number 1 seed, but I don't expect them to do anything.
No,
they're there because of their regular season play.
Look, Jokic got to go through Phoenix in the second round. That ain't happening. Like we're gonna come on here in 2 weeks and everybody's gonna pick Phoenix to win that series because KD, Jokic is not even close. In that regard, KD is light years above basically everybody in the West right now, including LeBron. So I mean, he's the top dog in the West. We'll go with that. Now, Tasha, you sent me something the other day that made me do the eyeball emojis. The Dallas Mavericks, our local Mavs here, just got fined $750,000 for tanking. Tasha, is this fair or foul?
I don't know if it's fair or foul, but I think what they're doing now is sending a message to other teams who may possibly think they want to tank.
But Tasha, Detroit tanked, Houston tanked. There was a lot of teams that horrible, or they just horrible.
But you're talking about 2 teams that had, number 1, no business being anywhere near the playoffs if they did make it. And if they were in the playoffs, wasn't going to do nothing anyway. Dallas has the ability to be a force when they're in the playoffs.
You don't think this is them coming after Cuban because Cuban is protesting games and calling the league out?
I mean, it is a shot at Cuban. Like I said,
I think so too. I'm calling foul.
I'm not going to necessarily say it's fair or foul. I think that they saying, hey, y'all see what we gonna do here. So any other teams,
right? No, to Mr. Glenn's point, name me 3 Spurs. No, I can't even name you 3 Spurs off the top of my head. They were taking since training camp. They didn't even try to field a competitive team. Go ahead with your point.
Y'all were talking about teams who were not going to make it to the playoffs, and if they did make it, wasn't gonna do nothing. So no one cares when you have 2 superstars on a team and they're tanking.
Right. And look, with a chance to make the playoffs with 2 games left to go.
And do something in the playoffs. That's
right. Because they could have very well, in a weak West, made it to the Western Conference Finals with a KD and a Luka. So I do get your point there. They were a little more brazen about it. You don't do that in the last game. You start taking, like Jarrell said, in training camp, where you put your worst players out there and trade away all your good assets. Yeah, they don't do that in the NFL as much because, and here's why, in my opinion, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, the contracts aren't guaranteed. So if my coach in the NBA telling me I need to sit down when I'm healthy, I'm getting paid anyway. If I'm on a non-guaranteed contract, I might get cut for not playing in the NFL. So I'm like, hell no, I'm finna get out here and take this Dortol shot, and I'm gonna get out there and play on a bum ankle. So I think it's a different mindset to what Tasha was saying earlier, and Stephanie mentioned it earlier as well, about guaranteed contracts versus non-guaranteed contracts. It's much harder for a coach to get a player to sit in the NFL. You're on mute, Tasha. Look at me. You're on mute.
I know I'm muted. I'm trying to give someone.
Oh, you're talking to somebody else. Okay.
Go ahead. Keep talking.
No. You're good. So with that being said, we're going to get braced for a wild and wacky playoff run. Now, we're going to conclude with our shout-outs. I'm going to start with my shout-out. I want to give a shout-out to Mr. Jackie Robinson, because today is Jackie Robinson Day in baseball, where every team and every player wears number 42. Now, Mr. Glenn says, how to fix tanking. Every team that doesn't make the playoffs gets the same amount of lottery balls. I love that. That will work for me, because in that case, Dallas wouldn't need to tank to protect that pick, because everybody will have the same amount of chances to get the number one pick. Although, if you're going to tank this year, Victor Wembanyama is the person that you want to tank for. By all accounts, he's going to be the next LeBron James, the next Kevin Durant, yada, yada, etc., etc. So, hey, we'll see. The draft will be coming up here in a couple of months. And speaking of draft, I want to give you a program note. Michigan Mike and myself, along with Tasha T. Sizzle, will be doing a live draft coverage the night of the draft. That's a week from this Thursday night. We will be doing a special extra point after dark. We'll be covering the first 11 picks of the draft, which will take us from the first pick, Carolina, through the 11th pick, Tennessee. Y'all pray for Tasha, because she has to work that morning, but she has night duty on that Thursday. So this show will be sponsored exclusively by May Jane's Coffee. She'll need a couple of sips to stay alert. And yes, Langston, prayers for Jamie Foxx. Tasha, you want to speak on that?
Again, prayers to Jamie Foxx. You talking about the Jamie Foxx of the draft?
Yes.
Oh, yes. We all love Jamie. We love Wanda. We love Jamie's voice. We love Jamie's movies. So we don't know what's going on. Of course, people kill me always speculating about what's going on.
Right. And stop with the vaccination foolishness. Let's not politicize somebody's health.
It ain't with no damn vaccination.
Right.
So whatever he's going through, we just hope our brother Jamie comes out of this.
Favorite Jamie Foxx movie, Tasha?
Ray.
Mine is Booty Call. He was hilarious. I don't want to say Django, because I don't want to get into slavery.
I mean, only reason why I would say Django is because of all the one-liners and the jokes that we get from Django. But Django is... I wanted to say Django, but I just went with Ray. But yeah, Django and Ray.
Yeah. Your daughter, your name, Django and Ray. There we go. And again, happy. Okay, CP said Project Power. Okay, now was that straight to Netflix? I don't remember that one. No. Oh, okay. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are about an hour and 50 minutes away from the tip-off of the first game in the NBA playoffs, the Brooklyn Nets and the 76ers. So we're going to let you all get your honey-do list together, get your stuff ready for a fantastic weekend of playoff basketball. Again, we will be doing live coverage of the NFL draft, the first 11 picks, a week from this Thursday. Make sure you check out a special edition of the Extra Point After Dark, where I go on my Titans rant. If we don't pick up the right player, y'all going to have to pray for me, because they're going to tear me up on live TV if we don't. All right. On behalf of Tasha T. Sizzle, you know it's your boy. We'll see you in 6 days and 23 hours. Peace. Go Grizzlies.
Rise that N-word on that dad now.
Look, you get to dress yourself, and you dress like that. My man look like a blueberry.
Like a fool.
Oh, and one more. I want to send a shout out to my nephew Carter Paul, who's having his first communion tomorrow. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. CP, we love you. Peace.